Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Stephanie and Chad meet at the park. Due to the children's first day of school, he is running late to the memorial and apologizes. He is informed by Stephanie that Everett's ashes have already been dispersed by her and Jada. She thinks it's strange that his friend Connie says she doesn't know him, even if it was appropriate that it was just the two of them. Stephanie and Chad reunite days. When Stephanie asks Chad how he's doing, he says it was difficult to send the kids off to school without their mother and that he hopes Abigail will soon regain her memories. About Stephanie's rendezvous with Abigail, he inquires. Stephanie claims they had a fantastic time. She told her some things about her background, but this one bizarre thing happened. She tells him about Abigail, who says she and her mother had discussed creating a health plan, but her mother says they never did. Chad speculates that she might not have known who she was speaking to, but Stephanie can't get rid of the suspicion that Abigail is lying. Chad is certain that she was merely confused. Perhaps she was discussing the strategy with another physician. Perhaps, replies Stephanie, with whom else would she be arranging plans? Stephanie adds she and Abigail discussed getting together for dinner again and appreciates Chad for checking on her. He thinks her chances of starting to remember are higher the more time she spends with her family. Abigail, in the DiMera mansion, converses with Stefano's image. She acknowledges that she doesn't enjoy pretending to be someone she's not and knows he despises her for lying to his son. She claims that what she is doing is what is necessary. She is aware that, like her and her brother, family meant the world to him. Talking with Stefano days, Abigail. Abigail is taken aback when Steve shows up to visit his niece. He overhears her conversing with Stefano. He seems to loom huge over this household, she says. Steve is aware of his strong presence. He heard her tell him that her brother and family are everything to her. Abigail explains, claiming that everyone has told her that she and her brother are close. Steve asks, "You mean JJ?" Abigail replies, "Who else, of course." Steve informs her of his friend Abe, who recently had a similar circumstance to her own, but both he and she will regain their memories in due course. Steve introduces himself and says that he knows that his wife, Kayla, recently spoke with their daughter, Stephanie. Abigail attests to their pleasant conversation regarding their shared upbringing. Steve brings up the course of therapy she discussed with Abigail. "Aunt Kayla has been a huge help," she replies. Steve snaps back, if that was true. He claims Kayla maintains that they didn't talk yesterday, and Abigail speculates that since she's been talking to so many doctors recently, she might have confused things. She discusses how difficult it is to stay in contact with people when she can't remember who she is. Steve acknowledges that he gets it and says that he was recently sure he was Stefano DiMera. But he was not Stefano. Abigail is aware that her mother and other people have misgivings about her, but DNA testing proves she is indeed Abigail. Steve can only imagine the distress that must have caused her to be disbelieved even by her own mother. He argues that sometimes it takes a lot of faith to believe the unbelievable. Jack and Jennifer wept and buried their baby, believing she had died. Steve offers guidance every day. Though he advises her to speak with her Aunt Kayla on that treatment plan, Steve chooses to move forward. After Steve leaves, Abigail understands that he will be a challenge. In Gabi's office, she informs Connie that she would continue her relationship with EJ in addition to taking Stefan for everything. After turning around, Connie pulls a knife out of her backpack and murmurs, "I'm going to take care of this slut." Gabi gets a call before Connie can attack, and she tells Connie to locate Melinda Trask. On a future line, she needs the notes Melinda took for her. Melinda took a leave of absence and departed the town, Connie informs her. Gabi and Connie days. Paulina yells at Rafe in his hospital bedside, telling him to wake up in his capacity as mayor. At last, he opens his eyes and answers. As she dashes to grab Kayla, Paulina encourages him to stay awake. As Jada knocks on Connie's apartment door to talk to her about Everett, Melina tries to escape her restraints. She unlocks the door after hearing sounds inside and makes an announcement as she calls out. Jada taps on the bedroom door as Melinda struggles to release herself. Paulina calls just as she is ready to go inside to let her know that Rafe is awake. Jada quickly leaves after saying she'll be right there. When Rafe returns to the hospital, Kayla takes out his breathing tube and tells him they are glad to have him. He's wondering what went wrong. Abruptly, Jada appears and gives Rafe an embrace, ecstatic that he's returned. Kathy assists Steve days. When Connie's boss learns that Rafe is awake, she thwarts her plot to stab Gabby back at Gabby's office with a phone call. It is obvious that Connie is worried. Jada informs Rafe in his hospital room how many hours she spent sitting by his side, waiting for him to wake up, and now that it has occurred. Gabby runs in, gives her brother a hug, and can't believe it's true. After that, she gives Jada a hug. Rafe is still unaware of what transpired. Gabby tells them he's been in a coma for 2 months and that he was attempted to be killed. There was a backstabbing. Rafe remembers talking to Paulina on the phone. When he flashes back to the moment of the stabbing, Jada queries whether he can identify the perpetrator. He can't recall, but Gabby says it doesn't matter because they already know who was responsible. Jada and Gabby clarify that Bobby, Jada's former partner, desired for Jada to return and for him to move on. According to Gabby, he recently killed himself. So, the end, remarks Rafe. Jada doesn't seem persuaded. Days with Gabby and Rafe. Rafe observes that later, when Jada helps feed him, he feels powerless. He will have to endure it patiently till he regains his full vigor, Jada informs him. Is there a new commish? Asks Rafe. Jada says that she has been covering for him on a temporary basis. He is curious as to what has been happening. Jada is aware that he won't give up until she gives him the details and reveals that there is an active high-profile hit-and-run case. Rafe hears Connie say, "Looks like that open grave is not working out for you," all of a sudden. She said that immediately after stabbing him. Jada assists Rafe daily. Paulina asks Kayla how Rafe is doing in the hallways. Kayla reports he's doing really well, and Jada and Gabby are with him. The news that Rafe should fully recover makes Paulina thrilled. Kayla reports that while he appears to have forgotten the stabbing, the rest of his memory seems to be intact. When Connie gets home, she tells Melinda that Rafe is awake and removes the gag from her mouth. Melinda believes Connie must be scared because she stabbed him, but Connie claims nothing is remembered because Rafe never saw her. If that were true, then why do you seem so nervous? Melinda asks. Connie laments that her strategy isn't working out because Gabby had an affair with EJ. She was expecting Gabby to be miserable, but instead, she's ecstatic. She yells, "That's not very revengey." Knowing that Lee doesn't want her to kill anybody else, Melinda turns to Lee's cutout, but she must defy him one more time. There is only one way to make Gabby pay for what she's done, Connie says, drawing her knife.